Hey everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Corner, and guys, you're with me, Mike Spider Slayer. That's right, guys, we're getting ready to celebrate Spidey once again. So welcome back to celebrating 50 years of Spider-Man issue or episode number 7, I think. That's right, guys. And this week we got quite a few requests. I'm glad everyone's enjoying this series, so let's keep it rolling. If you have a suggestion about a particular villain, a hero, anybody in the Spider-Man universe issue, and you want me to talk about it, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. This week we got about 3 things to talk about, and the first thing is from 1984 Terminator. He wanted to discuss the Kingpin. He said, Mike, when is the first appearance of Kingpin? So, right here, going into the trusty book, the actual first appearance of Kingpin was in issue number 50, right here in the Amazing Spider-Man. But it wasn't until issue number 51, which is this book right here, is where Kingpin comes up with his name with Wilson Fisk, and you get to learn more about the character, how he's a crime lord, and all his little weapons. Like, he's got the cane, and he's got his tie that creates like this gas effect. And it says in the book that Wilson Fisk is the kingpin of crime. He would go on to plague the wall crawler for years and become an arch nemesis of Daredevil at the same time. Kingpin would mature into a crime lord with a brilliant mind who relied mostly on enforcers to do his dirty work. But in the first encounter with Spider-Man, he was more traditionally in concept. His weapons included a technological gimmicks, which again were a ray blaster, and a cane, and a gas-emitting tie pin, which he used to bring the wall crawler to his knees. So, back in 1967, issue number 50 and 51 were the first appearances of Kingpin. Kingpin personally was maybe not my favorite character in the Spider-Man universe. I don't know why. I don't know. I could never see this big dude taking on Spider-Man. Just could never see it. Spider-Man's so agile and so quick, but when you look at Kingpin, he's the crime lord. He gets everybody to do his dirty work for him. Whether it was Dr. Octopus or Tombstone or any of these other characters, that's what Fisk would actually do. So the Kingpin, he is a special character in the universe. Next character that we're going to take a brief description about was from J. Al Ghul, Jeremy. He wanted to discuss about the Black Cat, and the Black Cat is a nice character in the Spider-Man universe. She's actually my favorite female character in the Marvel U, besides Mary Jane. I think she is a very attractive character. She's smart, she kicks ass, and she's like got that bad girl personality, and I love her tremendously. Her first appearance was in February of 1979, and she debuted in Amazing Spider-Man issue number 194, and that is this title right here. So we get to see her. And in that year, you find out who the Black Cat's personality or secret identity was, and it was obviously Felicia Hardy. In this particular issue where it says the Black Cat debuts, it says Peter Parker's luck seemed to be improving. The owner of the Daily Globe, KJ Glayton, wanted her paper to be a better rival of the Daily Bugle, and had ordered her city editor Barney Bushkin to hire Peter back in March's Amazing Spider-Man 190. As the paper's new chief photographer, Peter finally had the respect he had craved his entire career, as well as some extra special notice from the city room employee April May. May wasn't the only person vying for Hero's attention, though Spider-Man wasn't exactly sure what to think about his luck when he met a beautiful new thief on the prowl named the Black Cat. That's right. And courtesy of a story by writer Marv Wolfman, and artist was Keith Pollard at the time that wrote that book. Now, Felicia has always been a love interest of Peter. She's always been there when Mary Jane hasn't. There's been like this love triangle, and there's been great issues as of late when it's come to Felicia or Black Cat. And one of my favorite personal issues is Amazing Spider-Man 606, because I love J. Scott Campbell's art, and it's this picture right here of Black Cat kissing Peter, Mary Jane in the background, and then this particular issue here has Mary Jane back there. But it's cool stuff. She's always a great character. There was stuff in the 90s that I like when Spider-Man was powerless and she actually stayed at Spider-Man's side. So she's a great character. I love her tremendous. Jeremy, thank you for bringing that up. 1984 Terminator, thank you for bringing up the Kingpin. And now for the issue that is going to be talked about, we will be talking about Spectacular Webhead is the one that requested for me to talk about this issue, and the issue is issue number 361 of The Amazing Spider-Man. I know I brought this issue up in an earlier episode, but I didn't get a chance to actually kind of go through the issue. This issue is one of my favorite issues of The Amazing Spider-Man. This is like the first full appearance of Carnage. We see him in previous issues, like in 360, how he got the symbiote and stuff like that. Well, this is the first issue with him solo in it, battling Spider-Man. This book was made in 1992, and our artist at this time was Mark Bagley, and David Michelin was the writer. Bagley's run on Amazing Spider-Man lasted a very long time, lasted well into the 400s, and he's a great artist for this book. Great artwork. Pages started improving, quality of pages started improving in comics at this particular time. In this issue, I mean, you obviously get to see Carnage, full appearance, first time, skin moving, people don't know who he is, what he's about. He kills Peter's college friend, was Chip, and he actually, you see Carnage, just the psychopath that he is, just destroying stuff. He's like, ha ha ha, you know why I can kill you? Because I can. You know, he's like freaking out. Some psychopath. Peter's always concerned about Aunt May, and Aunt May won't let him help him in this particular issue. Same old story when it comes to Aunt May in these 90 issues. Again, there's these murders and things that are going on at the college, and here we get to see Spidey go out and investigate on what's going on. And you know, he gets all the knowledge. He's also having a tough time with his marriage with Mary Jane, how he's never around, and they're supposed to meet for lunch and they don't. And she just says, you know, we saw each other more when we weren't married. So their relationship with him being Spider-Man is being strained at this particular time. The issue does a really great job again at explaining the black costume, on how Peter acquired it and how it went to Eddie Brock, because you know, in the last issue, Peter faked his death trying to get Venom to leave him alone, and that's what he did, because they're thinking that maybe Venom could have caused all these possible killings that is going on. So Peter does some research and try to go the history of how these crimes have been committed, and he comes against Cletus Cassidy. And Cletus Cassidy is a psycho serial killer who acquired the symbiote. And we see that in this particular issue. Spider-Man does the investigation in this building, and you see a strange character here, and he goes, who is that? And here's where we witness the first full battle of Carnage and Spider-Man. And right away in this issue, you can see maximum improvements of how the symbiote is used to Cletus Cassidy. Creates solid objects that go super quick out there. Creates axes and throws them. And then when Peter tries to use it for himself, it disintegrates into thin air. So he's trying to, learn Carnage's weakness and strengths. He finds out that he's a little bit more stronger than Venom and a little bit crazier. I guess it's whoever the host is. And Peter has a tough time dealing with him. But he gets out of there, and he looks for him, and Carnage leaves a message behind, and it says, "Carnage rules." Spider-Man tries to get the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and other teams to get involved, but they all have space missions that they're going to, so they're all left right now. So he has no choice, and Mary Jane warns Peter, "Please don't do this, Peter." And he's concerned that Mary Jane is smoking again because she's always so worried about him. And she goes, "No, please, Peter." He's like, "I have to." He's like, "I have to find Venom, and I have to set him loose so he can help me with Carnage." And then in the next issue, you get to see Spidey, Venom, Carnage. Yow! That's what happens in issue number 362. So 361, my thoughts on it today. As a kid or as a younger person at that time, I loved it. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Carnage." Reading it now, it's a little bit more cheesy, but it's still cool because Carnage is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. He's sick, he's twisted, he's like the Joker in the Marvel Universe, I guess you can say that. And it was a great issue. I love the cover of this book. This book I bought it on the stands. I've had it ever since. It's in mint condition. There's nothing wrong with it. It's been read a couple times. The pages are white. Great issue. For a lot of you guys, this is an ancient issue. For me, it's not as old. It's made in, what did I say it was made in 1992, so it's just 21 years old now. And for you guys, this was made before you even born, for some of you, but a great classic issue of the Amazing Spider-Man. And then again, this leads into the whole Maximum Carnage series. So Spectacular Webhead, thank you for suggesting me to review this issue. It's a nice follow-up to the last episode with Spider-Man 300 with the first appearance of Venom. So guys, again, if you want to see a particular issue reviewed or particular characters talked about or first appearances or anything of that nature, leave it in the comments below. And guys, tell me what you think about Carnage, and do you have this book? And give me all types of great suggestions and things like that where I can make this series better. So guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner, and this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks guys, and have a great day. Bye.